Have you ever wondered about the true pioneers behind an entire industry? I mean, the ones who really built it from the ground up.
Yeah, facing, well, pretty much every challenge you can imagine.
Exactly. From legal battles, personal struggles, even getting tangled up with biker gangs.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Mm.
Today we're jumping into the, frankly, extraordinary life and journey of an individual known simply as Doc.
That's right. And you've shared some really incredible source material with us, Doc's Odyssey, Cannabis, Advocacy, and Innovation, which comes from Nug Notes.
Mhm.
And our mission really is to unpack the most surprising facts, the crucial insights from this material. We want to understand not just what happened, but, why it all matters.
It's a story of, well, transformation, isn't it? From like a young hustler working in the shadows
Right.
to becoming an architect of a multi-state cannabis industry.
Yeah.
And, maybe most surprisingly, a really powerful advocate for social justice.
Absolutely. We're going to trace his path, look at those pivotal moments, the innovations that didn't just shape his career, but left a huge mark on the whole industry.
Yeah, laying the groundwork for a lot of the products and even the policies we see around cannabis today. So, yeah, let's unpack this.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Our journey with Doc kicks off with a very unconventional start.
Definitely. He was splitting his time growing up between Ohio and South Carolina.
And the source material says, get this, at just 15 years old, he built his first cannabis grow.
He did. And it really shows that resourcefulness he had even back then, using things like streetlight ballasts.
Right, basically scavenging powerful lights.
Exactly. And nirvana seeds, which were, pretty common genetics back then.
But this early start, it didn't go smoothly.
Not at all. It led to some pretty serious adversity fast. By 18, he was facing a hard time.
Hard time. How?
Well, there was a 6-month sting operation, and it ended with a joint DEA and FBI raid.
Wow. At 18, that's a tough start for anyone. How do you even come back from that?
It really says a lot about his resilience, doesn't it?
It really does.
He gets released in July 2001, makes a fresh start, moves out to Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Initially, he's working at his father's silicone factory, trying, maybe go straight.
Trying a different path?
But the source shows the pool was still there, the plant. By 2003, he's back at it, innovating again.
How so?
He apparently locked down the Fort Collins cough cut.
Which is like a specific desirable cannabis strain.
A very sought-after one, yeah.
Yeah.
And he started converting apartments into aeroponic grows.
Aeroponic, so no soil, just mist. That seems pretty advanced for it back then, especially under the radar.
It was. But this is where the story takes a really wild turn.
Okay.
The source talks about him getting pulled unexpectedly into biker gang politics.
Wait, biker gangs, how does that happen?
It sounds like a really perilous situation.
No.
He ends up spending 9 months basically captive. Yeah, forced to just water their grow rooms. Imagine that, the psychological pressure.
Unbelievable. How did he get out?
Well, this is where the resourcefulness kicks in again. His escape was apparently pretty dramatic, fleeing west in
Yeah.
a stolen Explorer. Just gone. And that experience, escaping that whole situation, it wasn't just a story. It really underscores his resilience, his ability to think on his feet under extreme pressure.
You have to think that kind of experience, it shapes everything that comes after.
Oh, undoubtedly. It
Yeah.
laid a foundation for how he approached challenges later on, even in the legal market.
Right. So fast forward a bit. By 2005, he's landed on the West Coast, San Diego.
And he's running North Park Quality Care.
And this wasn't just some small operation. The source calls it a Prop 215 delivery juggernaut.
It was huge, handling apparently 1,000+ orders per day.
1,000 a day back then.
Yeah, and dominating platforms like Weed Maps. This is in the pre-regulation chaos, but he built a serious logistical operation.
What was the key? How did he scale like that?
It seems like he had a real knack for optimizing, for understanding the market, treating it like a real business, even when it technically wasn't.
But he didn't stop there, did he? He saw the next thing coming.
Always innovating. He saw the potential in extracts. But he didn't just, jump on the bandwagon. He challenged things.
With Cowboy Extracts.
Right. And he started spearheading this movement. The source calls it the SHTARK-BHO movement.
Okay, explain that. BHO is butane hash oil.
Yeah, which was common then, but the methods could be, well, pretty sketchy. Dangerous even.
So he was pushing back against that for safety.
Safety and quality. He was championing CO2 oil extraction, which was cleaner, safer. He saw where the market should go.
And that stance, that push for quality, it paid off.
Big time. By 2014, Cowboy Extracts was one of California's first statewide wax distribution operations.
Wow, statewide.
And what's really fascinating is his vision for scale. In 2013, think about this. While most people in places like SLO County were using light deps.
Which is light deprivation greenhouses, kind of manipulating the light cycles.
Exactly. For faster harvests, but it often limits your scale. Doc went bigger, much bigger.
How big?
He apparently cut a deal, a 300-acre deal, with former California Lieutenant Governor Abel Maldonado.
300 acres.
Yeah.
With a former lieutenant governor, that's quite the leap.
It's massive. And he wasn't just scaling up space, he was innovating the process, scaling up cut dry ops and, flash freezing huge amounts.
Flash freezing. The source says 5,000 pounds per day using fish stick conveyors. Why? What did that do?
That's the key to live resin. See, when you dry and cure cannabis normally, you lose a lot of the volatile compounds, the terpenes, the smells, the flavors. Flash freezing the plant right after harvest, it preserves everything, all those delicate terpenes and cannabinoids.
So that's why live resin has that intense flavor and aroma?
Exactly. He basically built the foundation for California's live resin boom right there with that freezing process.
Turning that frozen gold, as the source calls it, into live sauce.
Under this, let's say, memorable brand name, Donald Keydicks.
Donald Keydicks. That sounds intentionally provocative.
Oh, absolutely. The source says he clashed with investors who just wanted flashy bags full of mediocre product in fancy packaging.
Right. But Doc insisted.
He insisted that top-shelf flower would win without gimmicks. Quality first.
And did it work?
Apparently, Donald Keydicks' farm sauce flooded sèches at 20 on jar. Cheap. High quality. It cemented his reputation.
As an early loud voice for live resin, it shows that commitment to quality, but also that rebellious streak is still there with the branding.
Definitely. Which makes the next part of his story even more striking.
Yeah, this is where things take another turn, right? Because you have to ask, how does someone with that kind of background,
built on, hustle, defiance, navigating gray areas,
how does that person become a key figure in policy change? Social equity, no less.
It's a significant pivot. But in 2014, Doc helped. And the source uses the word ignite, California's first equity program.
Ignite?
He saw the need for restorative justice. He wasn't just about the business anymore. He urged Alice Huffman, who was the NAACP president at the time, to push for licenses and actual ownership opportunities for Black communities, people hit hardest by the war on drugs.
That's incredible. Someone coming from his background advocating for that?
It directly led to Oakland creating a mandate. Equity provisions for formerly incarcerated people, low-income residents.
Making it the first policy of its kind in the U.S., that's genuinely groundbreaking stuff.
Absolutely. And his influence didn't stop in Oakland. He worked with Donnie Anderson, co-writing early frameworks for equity policy.
Wow.
Then carried that work forward with Jamal Weathers, pushing it through Governor Jerry Brown's office.
So he was really in the halls of power, shaping policy.
Yeah, paving the way for similar equity programs across the whole country, using his understanding of the streets, frankly, to inform policy.
And he didn't just write policy, he got involved on the ground, too.
Became a founding member of the California Minority Alliance, mentoring equity applicants, building bridges.
Bridges between activists, brands, lawmakers, people who often didn't talk to each other.
Exactly. He cemented his place in cannabis justice history. It shows this really deep commitment that went way beyond just, selling weed.
It's a profound shift. But then things get even more personal, don't they?
They do. What's really compelling here is how a personal tragedy pushed his mission even further.
The source talks about a turning point in 2015. His brother.
Yeah, his brother returned from his 5th tour with Delta Force, battling severe PTSD.
5th tour. Wow.
Doc brought him to the farm, hoping the cannabis, the environment would help. But his brother's struggles, they just deepened.
That's heartbreaking. It must have hit him hard.
It seems like it was a huge catalyst. He started searching for answers, for ways to help veterans like his brother.
And that led him to Kevin Richardson.
Right, the founder of the Weed for Warriors project, or at least the Meds for Vets chapter in San Jose, which was pretty new back then.
Weed for Warriors. I've heard of them.
Doc got deeply involved. Over 3 years, the source says he donated hundreds of pounds of flour and nearly 100 pounds of concentrate directly to veterans.
Hundreds of pounds? That's a massive amount of medicine. What was the impact?
It was huge. It helped fuel WFWP chapters all over the country, providing real relief for veterans who were just drowning in VA prescriptions, often with terrible side effects.
So he wasn't just talking the talk. He was putting serious resources behind it.
And he took his activism even further. He actually funded a documentary about veteran suicide.
Documentary?
Yeah, sent to film crew across the country. They followed veterans who were protesting the overprescription of pharmaceuticals.
How did they protest?
It culminated in this really powerful act. They dumped 10,000 empty VA pill bottles on the White House lawn for Veterans Day.
10,000 pill bottles. Wow, that's a statement.
A huge statement against what Doc called mind drugs, and a desperate call for better access to cannabis for veterans. It shows how deep his commitment ran.
Absolutely incredible dedication. Okay, so let's shift gears again into what the source calls the Oni era.
Right. This is 2019. Doc partners up with Nick from Oni Seed Co. and a breeder named Patrick.
Oni Seed Co. They have a big reputation for genetics, right?
A huge reputation. And the vision here was about bringing those elite, top-tier genetics to a truly commercial scale, but without sacrificing quality.
How did they do that? They pioneered these first large-scale seed pops? What does that mean?
So a seed pop is basically when you germinate and grow out a massive number of seeds from a particular cross. Thousands, maybe tens of thousands.
Okay, why so many?
To find the absolute best phenos, the phenotypes, those individual plants that have the exact combination of traits you're looking for. Commercial viability, consistency.
And they had specific roles in this.
Yeah, clear division of labor. Doc was focused on the practical stuff, structure, viability, and grower ROI. Basically, what makes a plant easy and profitable for cultivators to grow.
Makes sense. And Nick and Patrick.
They were chasing flavor, stress testing the plants for wash quality and hash returns.
Meaning how well they'd produce high-quality hash or solventless extracts?
Exactly. They were looking at it from every angle. Grower, consumer, extractor.
And the result?
Culturally, it was massive. Their Trop cookies line, for example, just dominated hash menus.
Right, Tropicana cookies. Everyone knows that one.
It sparked this wild thing, the iconic Tattoo for Seeds movement.
Wait, people got tattoos of the brand to get seeds.
Yeah, that's how much buzz and demand they created. It tells you something about the cultural impact they had.
No kidding. That's serious brand loyalty.
And that success naturally attracted attention. In 2022, Oni was sold to Praetorian Global.
They're the creators of Binsky, the lifestyle brand.
That's them, based in Colorado. And interestingly, Doc stayed on, became their global director of cultivation.
Even though Binsky came up through the regulated market, not the legacy side like him.
Right. But the source says Doc respected their hustle and culture-first mindset. He saw something familiar there, even though their paths were different.
And the team stayed together, Patrick.
Patrick stayed on in what they called the librarian role, managing the genetics. And crucially, there was more innovation.
Yeah.
A guy named Ryan Kowaleski engineered a patented hash extraction method.
Patented? What was special about it?
It was vibration-only, ice-free.
Vibration-only, ice-free. How does that work? Why is that better?
Well, traditional ice-water hash, well, great, uses ice and water agitation.
Yeah.
That can sometimes damage the delicate trichome heads where all the good stuff is.
Yep.
This new method uses just vibration to gently shake the trichomes loose from the frozen plant material. No ice, no water slurry.
So it preserves the trichomes better. Pure result.
Exactly. Potentially a cleaner, more terpene-rich product.
Yeah.
It was basically bringing Doc's long-term solventless vision to life through new tech. A big leap.
That's a pretty significant development for hash making.
Huge.
Yeah.
And if you look at the bigger picture, since Binsky acquired Oni,
Yeah.
they've expanded into 9 states, launched all these exclusive flower and solventless products based on those genetics. They've doubled their premium sales in California.
Wow.
And really solidified themselves as a top-tier brand, driven by genetics, making multi-state licensing deals.
So Doc's influence continues, even within this larger corporate structure.
Absolutely. He really did transform all those early lessons.
Yeah.
You know, from prison, biker strongholds, and DEA raids.
Into what the source calls a billion-seed blueprint.
Yeah, a blueprint for scaling craft cannabis.
So wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway here? What does Doc's whole journey mean?
I mean, it's just such a powerful story, isn't it? It shows how raw experience, incredible resilience, and just a deep, deep understanding of the plant.
And the people involved.
And the people, how all that can fundamentally shape an entire industry.
Yeah.
His whole philosophy seems to boil down to No gimmicks, no fluff.
Right, just genetics, fire, and the scalable path for real craft brands.
It's embodied in everything he did. And this quote you mentioned earlier really sticks with me.
Which one?
The plant don't care about your clout, only your work.
Yeah, that says it all, really. Focus on the work, the quality.
So as we reflect on this whole odyssey, from building a grow with streetlight parts to changing national policy and pushing cannabis science forward.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. It raises this provocative question. What other lessons are out there, hidden in unconventional paths, maybe overlooked because they don't come with a traditional pedigree?
Right. What breakthroughs or advocacy might be waiting in other industries if people were just willing to look beyond the usual credentials?
Exactly. What could you, the listener, potentially discover or achieve just by focusing, like Doc did, purely on the work?